gay and proud, and challenging the LISD on News at 9. An aggressive news organization will keep on raising the bar by devoting more resources to in-depth reporting. It's news that matters, news that affects you and your family. Our commitment to providing the news you need just keeps growing. So at Fox 34 News at 9, we'll keep raising that bar.
It's News at 9. At 10, it's history.
Get your house at Christmas, man.
At 9/8 Central next Wednesday.
Time has come. For Bart Fast Lane.
Gay and proud and winning recognition by the LISD, a group of gay students at Lubbock High pressing the school board for official status and jockeying for position to replace our congressman. The speculation name game, who's on the list, who wants to be. News at 9 next.
Get your house at Christmas, man.
At 9/8 Central next Wednesday.
Faced with falling bombs, Saddam shelves the bombast and goes with the flow. That UN resolution is unconditionally acceptable. All the local politicos considering a run for Washington, but none ready to do any hat tossing, while the retiring congressman welcomes all comers.
And call them the Gap Kids, as in gay and proud and wanting official status in the LISD. First on Fox 34 News at 9, making a school board pitch, but is the deck already stacked?
It's 9 o'clock, and this is Fox 34 News at 9.
A school district that tenaciously promotes abstinence-only sex ed suddenly finds itself embroiled in a more polarizing issue. Should it recognize a club for gay students? Good evening, folks. I'm Sean Lindsay.
And I'm Jeff Klotzman. GAP. It stands for Gay and Proud, and in this instance, courageous to confront an LISD administration which wants to keep these Lubbock High kids at arm's length. Now it's the school board's turn to wrestle with this sexual revolution. As Fox 34's Laura Matthews reports, the GAP kids are coming out and making their pitch for recognition bright and early tomorrow morning.
I'm Rainey Caldillo. I'm 17 years old. Go to school at Lubbock High, senior this year.
Like any other high schooler at 7:45 a.m., Rennie is getting ready for class, combing his hair in his room that looks like a shrine to Britney Spears. He shares the same routine as most of his classmates, but he says in many ways he's different.
Biggest thing is that I'm gay, so I have different sets of friends. Don't hang out with the same crowd as normal guys usually do.
As Rennie collects his books, he thumbs through his picture albums, glancing over friends.
I wouldn't want to go to school, and I would take my time in what I was doing because I didn't want to go at all, where I was afraid of what people were going to say or what they were going to do.
Rennie came out about his sexuality 4 years ago.
There would be people hanging out of their cars trying to punch me, or they would swing baseball bats at me.
Because of his struggles, Rennie started the GAP Youth Group. It stands for Gay and Proud, for students who want more information on homosexuality or need a support group.
I wanted someone for them to talk to since I'd never had anybody, just a book.
He carpools to school with the vice president of the organization, Ricky Waite.
We are just another group like anyone else, but we just offer something a little different than any of the other groups.
Lubbock High doesn't see it that way. The GAP's first meeting had to be held off campus, and attendance was low because the school hasn't recognized them. GAP members have applied to be recognized just like any other non-curricular clubs. They even have a faculty advisor and are supported by the local ACLU and PFLAG, the parents and friends of lesbians and gays.
We've jumped through all the hoops plus some. I mean, we've talked to the right people. We've tried filling out the right paperwork.
But the group hasn't been allowed the same rights as other non-curricular groups like the 4-H Club. They can't make announcements or hang posters on campus. It's something that other gay-straight alliance clubs have dealt with across the U.S. Not only discrimination from administrators, but other kids as well. Here's a clip from a TV series covering the same topic. It shows how gay clubs and members can be treated in schools.
Faggot! Homo! Those are a few of the names that I have been called because I'm gay. I've also been told that I'm going to hell and that I should die of AIDS.
Hey, Taylor.
You're starting a faggot club? It's for gay students and straight students.
To promote tolerance and understanding.
GAP youth members say this discrimination is similar to what they face every day, and that's why they need the group. Our question is, by not recognizing GAP, could LISD be in violation of the federal Equal Access Law, the law that requires schools to treat gay and straight alliances as they would any other school group? Ricky says administrators have told them the subject is too controversial.
Lubbock High's principal is refusing to comment on the GAP group right now. So are LISD administrators. We hear the faculty has been told not to talk as well.
Ricky and Rennie are going to the school board to plead with members tomorrow for recognition. President Mark Griffin says he doesn't know what the board will do because no formal requests have been made yet.
We have to balance out are there safety or concern issues and how it might affect the campus as a whole.
Regardless of what the LISD board says, the GAP kids will continue their fight. They now have a legal advisor, Lambda Legal, in Dallas. Adding fuel to the fire, Lubbock High announced just last week that no non-curricular clubs will be recognized by the school next year. Laura Matthews, Fox 34, News at 9.
The GAP youth group makes its case to the LISD board tomorrow morning at 7.
The nation's Roman Catholic bishops adopt revisions to their sex abuse policy that aims to protect the rights of accused priests while keeping molesters away from children. The bishops insist the plan shows they are deeply committed to reform, but victims say it is a major step backward from the original policy of zero tolerance. The bishops' revised proposal now goes back to the Vatican for final approval. Since the proposal was drafted in consultation with Rome, it is expected to quickly become church law here in the U.S. In an effort to protect the nation against terrorism, the House passes a bill creating a Homeland Security Department in a huge victory for President Bush tonight. The vote 299 to 121. The Homeland Security Department will include about 170,000 employees and have an annual budget of $37.4 billion. About 24 federal agencies will be folded into the department. They include the Coast Guard, Customs Service, Secret Service, FEMA, and the INS. The new plan will also allow pilots to be armed and delays for 1 year the requirement that all airline luggage be screened. The new bill drops Senate language that would have established an independent commission to investigate why U.S. authorities failed to prevent the September 11th attacks, and the Senate could vote on this bill by Friday. Analysts are working with the latest audio tape purporting to be from Osama bin Laden in order to determine if the voice of the tape is in fact the terrorist leaders. Analyzing audio starts by turning the audio into a visual representation of the sound waves. Analysts then locate sections of the waveform and compare them to a known source. Now, if the waveform of a certain word from one source matches the waveform from the same word from another source, chances are it's the same person. Analysts also examine factors like dialect and word choice in order to confirm a match.
Weapons inspectors returning to Iraq. Saddam Hussein accepting the United Nations resolution granting unconditional access to UN inspectors, saying he has nothing to hide. Fox's James Rosen has the details from Washington.
Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein has reluctantly accepted the terms of the United Nations resolution mandating the return of weapons inspectors to Iraq and that country's forcible disarmament. Yesterday, the Iraqi parliament dismissed the resolution, but today, Iraq's ambassador to the United Nations says his country has nothing to hide.
So we try to explain our position, saying that Iraq have and had not and will not have any mass destruction weapons. So we are not worried about the inspectors when they will be back in the country.
Meantime, President Bush, before meeting with UN Secretary General Kofi Annan at the White House, cautiously acknowledged the Iraqi response to the resolution.
We, the world, expects Saddam Hussein to disarm for the sake of peace. And the UN stepped up to its responsibilities, and I want to thank you for that.
Back in 1998, UN weapons inspectors were kicked out of Iraq after repeated friction with the Iraqi government. This time around, their mission remains the same, to certify that Iraq's nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons programs have been eliminated, along with the long-range missiles to deliver them. The resolution permits weapons inspectors to go anywhere at any time in their searches. Iraq now has until December 8th to declare what chemical, biological, and nuclear weapons it possesses. Inspectors, meanwhile, have until December 23rd to start inspecting, and 60 days after that to report to the Security Council. If the inspectors find the Iraqis delaying or impeding their work, It will, under the terms of the resolution, be considered a material breach, and the Security Council will be notified immediately. In Washington, James Rosen, Fox News.
Weapons inspectors will use high-tech detection tools to help them do their job. Now, some of these tools include permanent stationary cameras mounted in production areas to monitor various sites. They also have portable X-ray devices that can determine the composition of different items, handheld detectors to sample and test for biological and chemical agents, and imagery from satellites and surveillance airplanes to detect any new construction sites. In a letter delivered to the UN today, Iraq claims it has no weapons of mass destruction and it is not worried about the arrival of these inspectors. So the White House says the world now expects Saddam to disarm. During a meeting with UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, President Bush reiterates that the war against terror is not a fight against Islam.
Our war against terror is a war against individuals whose hearts are full of hate. We do not fight a religion. As a matter of fact, by far, the vast majority of American citizens respect the Islamic people and the Muslim faith. After all, there are millions of peaceful, loving Muslim Americans.
In the meantime, Mr. Annan says the unanimous council vote, quote, sends a powerful message, end quote, that the international community wants UN resolutions respected. Chief UN Inspector Hans Blix expected to return to Baghdad next week to resume the hunt for clandestine weapons programs.
Well, street vendors make a bare statement, plus a washout in Peru.
And it's party time in Germany. Fox's Rick Fulbaum takes you around the world in 80 seconds.
Chile, a big protest in the buff. Street vendors in Santiago upset at being told they had to take their businesses elsewhere, so they took off their clothes. We can't show you all of what happened. The vendors hoping they can stay put. The city saying the move would cut down on traffic problems. Peru. Heavy rains forcing a river to go over its banks. The flooding killing 4 people, 3 of them kids. Volunteers wading through feet-thick mud to try to help. The swollen river destroying houses, wiping out roads, and damaging thousands of acres of farmland. Bolivia. An annual tribal ceremony worshiping skulls. The folks taking part believing skulls can protect them and fulfill their wishes. The craniums coming from family members or stolen from cemeteries. The worshipers presenting them with food, beer, and cigarettes. Germany. Kicking off carnival season. Thousands of folks dressing up and hitting the streets in downtown Cologne. The colorful costume festivities marking the start of the 4-month season. Despite the often freezing temperatures, there's dancing, traditional ballads and brass bands, and of course, plenty of beer. And that's a wrap on this Fox trip around the world in 80 seconds.
What do you do when your congressman resigns a week after being reelected? Well, you try to figure out who's going to try to take his place, and we take our best shot at that just a little later. Controversial councilman moving out on the in-laws. We'll tell you why.
Plus, business is booming at Budweiser. Beer profits pushing Anheuser-Busch skyward. Later in health, we'll tell you what a telepharmacy is. It's another way to bring health care to rural areas.
And when we come back from the break, another edition of American Idol, Brian Hughes style. Yep, it's next.
You're watching Fox 34 News at 9. Sit down with Jerry and the gang on Seinfeld tonight at 10 on Fox 34.
Some dealerships like to make you wait for a good deal. Okay, guys, we got to do this today. But at Pollard Used Cars, we do things differently.
Wow, honey, dealing with Pollard Ford is really fun.
Yeah, I can't believe we got all this for $199 a month.
Pollard Used Cars, the best deals, all the time, every time.
Frasier, tonight at 10:35 on Fox 34. News at 9 continues on Fox 34.
Last night, Brian showed us some people who didn't make it past the first round of competition in American Idol.
Oh, we have a winner, though, tonight from Lubbock. He's on the way to Hollywood, and I guess you're going with him.
Yes.
You're his manager now.
Yeah, I'm his manager now.
Since you were on a first-name basis with all of the...
Paula and
Ryan
what's her name?
Paula and Ryan and Simon and Randy.
This is what we put up with here for days.
Get him to shut up about
It's been, well,
I just saw Paula. She's adorable.
she was adorable. We've got some stuff on that, but it's time to take the trip with American Idol.
I'm going to Hollywood.
No one's working at an amusement park. They all do manual labor, and they've all got good voices. I've said to them, where were you American Idol 1?
There are a lot of people who are coming in with very good voices, but we're saying, and? Because they're having to learn that having a real good voice is not enough. They have to have the personality, the showmanship. It's almost like A&Ring. It's like you come with the package, otherwise
Right.
we're seeing so much talent.
And the judges I had for the first round of this audition, like he came out, he was like, man, I haven't seen them give that reaction to anyone all day, because they actually made me sing like all the way through it. And they were like, okay. Like after I stopped, they were sitting there like, okay. So I was like, okay.
So they were enjoying it.
Yeah. So he was like, man, I haven't gotten that reaction.
Hello. Hi. We're going to Hollywood.
Oh, they were just like, we'll see you in Hollywood. We'll send you a packet and see you in Hollywood, basically. That's all they said. I was like, I'll see you then. All right. But
So,
man, oh, I can't believe it. I'm just like...
Texas talent is just amazingly abundant to an extent.
Well,
yeah,
we are saying that we're seeing some interesting talent here, and ones that we're actually having fun with and putting through.
Yeah, and for the morning, I mean, for the people we've seen quite a few things that are really good, and I think the males have really come up here for us, which is really a welcome
Guys
kind
are
of thing.
doing a great job here.
Very special thank you goes out to our photojournalist, Josh Keeney. By the way, that other guy that Jerome was there with, he's also going to Hollywood. Josh Keeney made all the pictures from American Idol possible over the past few nights. Jerome Bell, congratulations, man. You're going to Hollywood, as if you didn't already know. We here at Fox 34 will be following Jerome on his trip to stardom and that special trip to Hollywood. So be sure to keep an eye on the news at 9 for the latest updates when we get to do events like this. Normally, we get the opportunity to do some promotional ads with celebrities. And here's a look at Paula Abdul and myself and see if you notice what goes wrong. 2, 1. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Hughes, and this is...
Paula Abdul and American Idol.
By the way, American Idol, you can check it out on Fox 34. And after that, it's news at...
11.
9, but it's okay.
No, then let's do it again. You didn't tell me it was 9. I'm like news 11. That's the only time I get home.
Oh, you're on the West. Are you on the East Coast? Well.
Okay. Next time, fill me in.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's right there.
Oh, sorry, I didn't look at the microphone. Okay. Okay, now
News
I
at
got
9.
Fox 34.
Actually,
I should have known that.
You should have given her the hand.
And well, she did it a little bit later, but that is to come. 11! But anyway.
Jerome's a tech student. Right?
Jerome's a tech student, Texas Tech, went to Friendship High School, and we're going to go to Hollywood.
So what's he get? Like, I mean, other than the tryout, does he
He's going straight to Hollywood. No, no money, but he gets his trip completely paid for.
He gets the experience.
The experience. Anyway, it's time to go to our break.
All right. Sounds great. Well, the difference between people who get enough vitamins and people who don't, it's not race, gender, or income. We'll have the answer in a bit.
The Fed chair with a warning the economy has hit a soft patch. That's just a bit later. And coming up next in health, these gizmos can be lifesavers, and now they're all over the tech campus.
This is Fox 34 News at 9.
Mike Parker with Jack Morse Ford Lincoln Mercury Toyota. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary with the biggest sales event of the year. The all-new 2003 Ford Expedition, new Ford F-150 Super Cruise, Explorers. They're all discounted during this sale. Get low 0% APR financing or huge rebates up to $7,000 on selected models. You'll find low prices because of our small-town dealer overhead, but a big city selection. Remember, if you don't shop Jack Morris, you'll pay too much during our 40th anniversary sale. Jack Morris, West Texas' only Ford Lincoln Mercury Toyota store, I-27 in Plainview.
And now, Fox 34 Your Health with Sean Lindsay.
Each year, more than 225,000 deaths occur from sudden cardiac arrest, making it the leading cause of death in the U.S. But now Texas Tech has a new line of defense. The Texas Tech University system has placed 60 of the automatic external defibrillators, or AEDs, on the University and Health Sciences Center campuses. The units are part of the new Heart First program. The cause of most cardiac arrest is ventricular fibrillation, which is a chaotic, quivering heart rhythm. Defibrillation is the only effective treatment for ventricular fibrillation. More than 450 university and HSC employees have gone through or are scheduled to take the Heart First training. The Health Sciences Center also launches the first telepharmacy program in the state today, benefiting patients in rural areas. The remote telepharmacy equipment is located in Turkey, Texas, and it connects to a Texas Tech pharmacy in southwest Lubbock, allowing a Lubbock pharmacist to counsel a patient in Turkey. Now, in rural areas like Turkey, many times patients have to delay needed medication and care because there is no pharmacy. This way, the rural clinics can have prepackaged medications on hand, and the pharmacist in Lubbock can order and monitor the actual dispensing of the drugs to patients per the physician's prescription. Researchers at the University of Missouri have come up with something that you might have guessed. If you drink a lot of soda, you're probably not getting enough vitamins. The study looked at any associations between soda consumption and vitamin or mineral deficiency. They went by a 2-year survey of food intakes by individuals conducted by the USDA. What they found was that the most consistent variable to signal among people who did not meet their RDA requirements was soda intake, that more than gender, race, or income. One researcher says part of the problem is that sodas are cheap, making them an enticing option for financially strapped families to get calories, but the soft drink offers little to no nutrients, so soda drinkers are not getting the recommended daily doses. Well, a beleaguered city councilman changing digs. Will it settle the dust cloud engulfing Frank Morrison? Retail sales even higher than expected as the Christmas season approaches. That's in the Fox 34 Financial. And coming up next, who's lining up to take Larry Combest's place in Congress? We'll have some possibilities next.
You're watching Fox 34 News at 9. Everybody loves Raven. All week long at 6:30 on Fox 34. News at 9 continues on Fox 34.
Last night, the big news. Congressman Larry Combest announcing his resignation. That was just days after winning re-election for the 10th time. The big question then, why? Well, Combest told us he just wants to spend more time with his family, and he assures us that no one is sick or dying, that this is just a lifestyle change.
Today, the even bigger question, who will replace him? Fox 34's Brittany Mara with the short list from both political sides.
Congressman Combest is only the third representative to hold the seat from the 19th district, and he's been in office for 18 years. Since the seat hasn't been vacant for such a long time, there's profound interest in the special election to replace Combest. Even more so since Combest himself doesn't have a successor in mind.
That is the decision of the people in Lubbock on who to elect, and it's the decision of people in Lubbock or Midland or Odessa or Big Spring or wherever to decide who's going to run.
The Lubbock County Democratic Party says it's really too early to think about names, but two candidates being considered are former Lubbock Mayor David Langston and longtime Texas Rep Pete Laney. Laney's office says since he doesn't even live in the district, it's probably not going to happen. As for Langston,
there are a lot of things that have to go into such a decision, and so that's something that I have to talk with my family about and with my law partners and with those people that might have the possibility of supporting me.
On the Republican side, the mayor of Lubbock says you can count him out.
I've just been elected mayor, and so I've certainly got a commitment here, and I committed to 2 terms, and at this point, that's what I plan on doing. So And really, I don't have a lot of interest in Washington, D.C. anyway.
State Senator Robert Duncan is a logical choice since he's well known in the area. His office says he has not yet publicly indicated any interest in the race.
To renovate your home, you have to wait.
Then we have State Representative Carl Isett. He says he'll consider running for the seat if Duncan decides not to.
We need all the...
And former Lubbock City Councilman Randy Naugabauer, who's now the Ports to Plains chairperson, says he's still deciding.
I have had a lot of phone calls from friends and folks to ask me to seriously consider that, and I have committed to consider it.
This is the entire area the district covers. It's 400 miles long and includes more than 650,000 constituents. Lubbock County's population makes up only 37% of the district. Midland and Odessa's populations combined are almost equal to Lubbock County's. So it's just as likely we'll get a winner from that part of the district. As possible candidates, Midland Odessa media have former Midland City Councilman and restaurateur Jose Cuevas Jr., former Midland Mayor Bobby Burns, and another restaurant businessman, Bob Barnes from Odessa. Larry Combest says the more the merrier in the special election.
If the whole phone book of Lubbock from A to Z decides to run, I'd just say, you know, hey, it's going to be an interesting race.
A race that'll probably include some candidates we haven't even heard from yet. I'm Rithi Mehra, Fox 34, News at 9.
As soon as Combest formally gives Governor Perry his resignation, Perry can call a special election. The first uniform special election date is the first Saturday in May. The winner needs a clear majority. If no one gets the majority of the vote, the top two vote getters will enter a runoff election.
Time for a Frank Morrison update, and we do have the latest real estate news involving the beleaguered councilman who is subject to a petition recall drive at this time. This all based on where Morrison actually lives. You remember he sold his home in District 4, which he represents, and he bought this home in District 6, the one with the black cat on the roof. Well, that cat evidently is a lucky omen because Morrison informs us as of today he has sold this house in District 6. It's on 19th Street. And he's in the process of purchasing a home back in his district. Throughout this ordeal, Morrison has claimed his in-laws' house in District 4 as his official residence. Now, how this is going to affect the recall drive, who knows? Those folks tell us they have better than 600 signatures now on the petition. They need 1,100 more in less than 3 weeks to force a recall election. Your daily requirement of news from Wall Street, it's all coming up, including oil prices dropping to their lowest level since spring.
And it's time to feed your Longhorn Red Raider football brain. F. Scott's X's and O's is just around the corner.
Need to feed him some bad food is what we need to before we start that game. Anyway, stick around. Your weather up next for the Texas game on Fox 34 News at 9.
This is Fox 34 News at 9.
The traditional home phone is about to be history. People everywhere are replacing their home phones with cellular service, but some folks have had some pretty creative ideas on how to hold on to that old home phone. With High-Tech Cellular, get a free phone with our $40 plan. That includes 800 daytime minutes and 3,500 night and weekend minutes, plus nationwide long distance and more at High-Tech Cellular, an authorized Cellular One dealer. We know you can find something to do with that old home phone. High-Tech Cellular, 5815 82nd Suite 140. See our ad in the Feist area-wide directory.
The Lexus IS 300 E-Shift or 5-speed. Now with lease payments starting at just $399 per month for 39 months with $2,240 due at signing. See Alderson Lexus in Lubbock, just down the road.
It's a blast from the past with That 70s Show, all week long on Fox 34. And now, Fox 34 AccuWeather with Brian Hughes.
Kind of look good looking like that. Not kidding. This is from the dashboard camera. Can't beat this of a patrol officer's vehicle. There is a tornado in Van Wert, Ohio, which killed, the rash of tornadoes killed about 35 throughout 5 states. That is an awesome sight. Wow, that's the stuff we like to chase around here, but definitely a deadly experience. Temperatures right now, top of the hour, Lubbock International Airport, 54 degrees. Winds out south at 9. Barometric pressures 29.98 inches of mercury and rising 2.41. That puts our humidity right at 61% with a few clouds out there. High today, 67 after a morning low of 40. 62 and 35 are the normals. 82.14 would be the records. And then for as far as precipitation, obviously none. 2800s for the month, and we're 17.59 for the year. Temperatures across West Texas, 54 here in Lubbock, 59 in Wink, 43 in Santa Fe, 57 back here in the Metroplex. So that would be checking in. Actually, 59 Wink is the warmest spot on the map. Otherwise, across the Lone Star State and the region, 46 up into parts of Pueblo, and some wintry mix up in the mountains, 32 in Salt Lake, 61 being the warmest spot in New Orleans. Nolens, you could call it. Here's what it looks like as the national surface map from now. As we move our way on into Thursday, high pressure still continues to dominate. And with this high pressure dominating, that's obviously going to bring us some better conditions. We're not going to see any stormy weather or anything of that nature. But as we move from Thursday on into Friday, you kind of see this cold front develop right here. That's actually just a little bit of cold air that ushers in here on into Thursday. There's a minor cold front that's going to move through. This high pressure is going to bring some of that cooler air back down in here. With the flow around high pressure, like it's going to bring some cool air down in here. So a minor, a little cold front going to be cooling us off. So as we go from Thursday into Friday, we're going to cool off a bit. Friday night football going to be rather chilly, and especially on into your Texas Tech football for your Saturday. From now on into 6 a.m., winds out of the south, more of a southwesterly direction. That's going to keep us kind of warm overnight tonight. And then tomorrow they turn to a northerly direction as that minor cool front blows through the area. And then as we look at max temps, max being the forecast model, maximizes all the efforts of all forecast models to give you the best possible scenario of what will be occurring. 51 temperatures are a bit cool across West Texas, or mild, we could say, for this time of year. As we go into 6 a.m., temperatures are going to drop off into the lower 40s and upper 30s, northern sections of the South Plains. Warming up tomorrow nicely into the lower 60s, but still it's going to be cooler than it was today. So for tonight, we are looking at 40 degrees, partly cloudy, rather cool. Winds out of the southwest at 10 to 20. It's a drying wind helping to keep us warm. Your Fox 34 exclusive accurate with the 5-day forecast looks like this. We are looking at 64 for your Thursday with partly cloudy skies. A slight chance of a sprinkle or two on Friday and 55. Saturday 58, and Sunday and Monday 64 and 68. So looking good. Texas Tech football for Texas 58. Tonight's Spotlight on Kids Kid is Tanner Torres, a 4-year-old who's a tough kid. He's coming back from heart surgery. Way to go. Tanner likes to collect Hot Wheels and watch SpongeBob SquarePants.
What's that?
That's a funny cartoon on Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
If you'd like to nominate an area kiddo, just send us a note saying why here at the station.
Well, I thought he was a tough kid, but if he's watching that show, he can't be too tough.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Funny character.
Sounds like you watch it, Brian.
Yeah. One of Brian's favorite cartoons.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All righty, Red Raider quarterback Cliff Kingsbury makes the short list for a very impressive award. It's about time, I must say. And we'll head to Monterey as the Plainsmen get set to hit the playoff trail Friday night.
Next, in the Fox 34 Financial, the X's and the O's from the street served up Terry Keenan style. That's after the break.
You're watching Fox 34 News at 9.
Max Theater.
Jordan's pet gets loose.
Where's the snake?
On an all-new Bernie Mac Fox Wednesday.
This is Fox 34 Financial with Jeff Klotzman.
Well, despite Iraq's announcement today to accepting the UN resolution, Wall Street still has those war jitters, more stocks dropping than rising in price. Fed Chairman Alan Greenspan says the economy is resilient in these tense times, but that's not much comfort for those worried investors. Fox's Terry Keenan has a lot more. She means business in our nightly business report.
Iraq gives in and the bulls move in, but the Dow gave up most of its gains. By day's end, the Dow was up just 12 points. It had been up 107. The NASDAQ adding 11 and change. The S&P 500 finished down a fraction. Citigroup dragging on the Dow on renewed questions. It influenced stock market research. Fed Chief Alan Greenspan warns lawmakers on Capitol Hill that the economy has hit, quote, a soft patch. Greenspan says last week's rate cut, though, should help get us through it. Oil prices slipping as Saddam agrees to unconditional weapons inspections. That helped ease war fears, pushing the price of crude to its lowest level since early March. And it is a done deal. Federal regulators clearing the way for Comcast to complete its $29 billion merger with AT&T Broadband, creating the nation's largest cable operator. Looks like Americans continue to shop till they drop. Walmart seeing its profits climb 23%, topping estimates. Federated, which runs Macy's and Bloomingdale's, also turning in solid earnings. Tiffany's at the high end, also beating the street. And it looks like media mogul Barry Diller may be getting more power at Vivendi Universal. Sources say Diller is expected to be named co-CEO of the French company, which has fallen on hard times. Vivendi stock is down 77% from its year high. And bottoms up for Anheuser-Busch shareholders. The maker of Bud says business is booming and that recent price hikes are sticking. As a result, Anheuser-Busch says its profits will be up 14% this year. And keep an eye on shares of Big Blue on Thursday. After the bell, IBM says it is comfortable with profit estimates for the year. And that is a look at business. I'm Terry Keenan.
Members of Lubbock's newest country club breaking ground this morning. The Falls is a country club and residential development going up on South Quaker at 14th Street, rather. This gated community will have room for 68 homes and most of the amenities of a country club. It even has a fine dining restaurant. 50 years ago today, Lubbock entered the age of television. W.D. Rogers signed KJTV on the air. Actually, it was pretty much color bars showing when they pulled that switch downtown, but it was television, the first small market station in the nation. The call letters have long since changed, as has the ownership of KOBK numerous times. But tonight, we at Fox 34 and News at 9 celebrating the vision of Dub Rogers, and we send our congratulations and our best wishes to our many friends over at KOBK TV. It is their 50th anniversary this very day. That's a neat milestone. The national signing period off to a good start for Marcia Sharp and Bob Knight, and we'll take you to a very special celebration for a very special team. Vinny's got it.
You're watching Fox 34 News at 9. This portion of Fox 34 News brought to you by Virginia Gentleman, VG90. Cat walks.
Could you two wait outside? Large press seem to be back in this season.
And frankly, I'll never understand why they went out.
And cat fights.
Oh my God, this is whiskey. Oh my God, this is coffee.
Meow.
It's all catastrophically funny.
Are you hitting on me?
No, God, no.
Because I want you to.
Baby, you were so fine.
Just Shoot Me. Tonight at 11:35 on Fox 34.
George tries to keep his secret code a secret.
Why can't there be some things just for me? Is that so selfish?
Actually, that's the definition of selfish.
And Kramer's secret fantasy.
All I ever dreamed of was steering the back of that big hook and ladder.
You're lucky to let you drive a car.
Finally comes true.
We're gonna make a left on the Broadway. Now I would advise against that. Who is this? It's Kramer.
On the next Seinfeld.
Tonight at 10 on Fox 34.
Guarantee it.
Watch Friends all week long at 6 on Fox 34. And now, Fox 34 Sports with Vinny Vanzetta.
Hey everybody, sometimes it seems like the football, basketball, baseball, and softball players of the high school football world most garner the press most of the time. So that's why we were glad to be in Rawls this morning to honor one of the area's top cross-country stars. Classes emptying out for just a bit this morning to honor Heath Wing, a two-time state champion cross-country runner. Heath winning the 1A state title this year after claiming the 2A state title last year. Not to mention that he's won 20 consecutive races. His college days will definitely include some running.
It's been a lot of hours running, and I know my first year I won it my junior year. We put in a lot of mileage, and I kind of came out of the blue to win it. Nobody really saw me coming. And so last year was really felt good, and this year I just made sure that I keep up the work and make sure I win it again.
And it's a trip to the city by the border for the Monterey football Plainsmen this weekend as they begin the playoff trek against El Paso Socorro in Class 5A Division II play. Our Andy Penny stopped by practice today and caught up with Plainsman linebacker Lee Ellis as they prep for round one.
Yeah, Vinny, thanks. That's right. Monterey does get started Friday night in El Paso against El Paso Socorro. Helping us get ready for this one, senior Lee Ellis. And Lee, first things first, you get to miss school on Friday. How nice is that to travel to El Paso?
Well, first thought, it's not very fun drive to El Paso, but I mean, we get to miss school, so it's not all bad, and we get a free meal, actually 2, so.
The offense seems to really be clicking now. You seem like you guys have found the comfort zone that you like on offense. What's been the difference?
Well, the offense, they've been working real hard, you know, coming back from us being 0-5, and we just started rolling through district, and they're definitely rolling, and it's a lot easier to win games when we're putting more points on the board.
El Paso Socorro, the matchup this week. Monterey's traditionally had success against El Paso schools, but Socorro brings a lot to the table. What have you guys seen thus far?
Well, it seems like every year whenever we play an El Paso team, it's like they've got, the team we play has some outstanding athlete, and this year the team from El Paso we're playing has supposedly the best wide receiver in El Paso. Their quarterback's a pretty good athlete, and they've got a lot of speed, so
sounds good to me. Lee Ellis, thanks for your time. Benny, once again, Monterey and El Paso Socorro this Friday from El Paso. We'll have the update for you Friday night on the news. So that's it from Monterey. I'm Andy Penny. Benny, back to you.
Thanks, Andy. Some signing news on the first day of the national signing period. Marcia Sharp inks 3 future Lady Raiders, and they all come from West Texas, which we like to see. Coach Bob Knight gets one from the area as well. Drew Kaufman out of Midland Lee will soon don the red and black. And remember, we'll have more preseason hoops tomorrow night over on the Fox AccuWeather channel. It's Coach Knight and the gang hosting Athletes First in their final exhibition before the regular season. Join us on Channel 32 over the air. We start at 8. Tip is 8:15. One more signing note. This from the tech, track, and field side of things. Head coach Wes Kitley will bring aboard Abilene High product Shawan Harris, who is very versatile, as you can see. Red Raider Cliff Kingsbury is one of 14 semifinalists for the Davey O'Brien Award. It's given yearly to the nation's top collegiate QB. The 3 finalists will be announced December 2nd. And let's get right to the Horns and Raiders. You want to know what's going to happen? Will? Here's Fox News 950's F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is F. Scott's X's and O's.
It's Texas week, and the Texas Tech defense seems to be peaking at about the right time with good performances in Colorado and also in home games against Baylor and Oklahoma State. Now UT comes to town with a multitude of offensive weapons, mainly in receiver Roy Williams and tailback Cedric Benson.
Well, Texas has a lot of talent. They're very well coached, and they have a core of receivers, Williams obviously being one of the best in the country. And then Cedric Benson is having a great year as far as running the football. So with their offensive line and putting all those talented guys together, they have an outstanding offense. They do a great job of controlling the football.
Now, defensive coordinator Greg McMackin hasn't been afraid to move his lineup around all season. He started 3 different free safeties, 4 different outside linebackers on that right side, and a host of defensive linemen in different places, ends and tackles switching places almost on a weekly basis. Now that situation is pretty much squared away, McMackin is now tinkering with the nickel packages. And in Tech's new nickel package, Josh Rangel has moved down from safety to linebacker. This puts a lot more speed on the field in passing situations, and the Red Raiders know that in order to beat Texas, they're going to have to put some pressure on quarterback Chris Sims.
He's a great quarterback, so just pressure-wise, hopefully get him out of the rhythm like you said and see what happens. I mean, we have some great, our D-line's doing a great job, and our blitzes are coming.
With this week's X's and O's, I'm F. Scott Fitzgerald, Fox 34 Sports.
Big 12 volleyball tonight. Tech beats Baylor 3-1. They improved 11-13, 6-9. Former Red Raider Derek Doris has been signed to the New York Giants practice squad. And how's this? The Indianapolis Ice of the CHL have signed Manute Bowl. I'm not kidding. How's that for how's that for a PR stunt?
That's a long fall to the ice if he actually gets out there.
That's going to be a comedy show.
I have a sports story to end your sportscast.
Let's give it.
I want to punch it up here at the end. This from the governor's office. Mike McKinney, he's Governor Perry's chief of staff, resigns. So why do we care? You'll remember. He's the guy who, after last year's A&M game, got punched out here, and he blamed it on Tech students. But we had the old trusty videotape, and it showed us he was hit by an Aggie, not by a Red Raider. So there's no apology that ever came out of this. But we figure you remember the guy and might appreciate that piece of information. Of course, you remember it was in, this was the classless clowns and all the other stuff that happened. So Mike McKinney.
So with his extra vacation time, he's not coming to Lubbock this week.
No.
Probably not. Okay, so in other words, we can just say, gig this, Mike McKinney.
It's the thumb. It's the thumb.
On that note, stick around. Fast Pass is next.
This is Fox 34 News at 9.
Frasier, tonight at 10:35 on Fox 34.
Welcome to Camp Naughty Bad Fun.
Where would you be without your buzz?
It hurts way too much to pop.
You know what sounds like even more fun?
Oh, playing with a bunch of monkeys?
I like to bathe with friends. They can reach places you can't. Move your hand.
Sure, friends are there for you, but your buds are in the basement. That 70s show. Watch it with your buds.
Tomorrow at 5:30 on Fox 34.
Jordan's pet gets loose.
Where's the snake?
On an all-new Bernie Mac Fox Wednesday.
Now, the Fast Cat from Fox 34.
Tomorrow morning, the school board will hear from the GAP kids. It stands for Gay and Proud, and so far not allowed to meet on school property.
Kids say they want to be accepted like any other non-curricular group. These kids have legal representation from Lambda Legal in Dallas. They have 5 minutes to make their case for recognition to the school board at 7 in the morning. American bishops have adopted revisions made by Rome to their sex abuse policy. The Vatican, fearing the policy approved in Dallas in June, didn't do enough to protect the rights of accused priests. The bishops say this is good policy, but the victims like the original plan much better. The revised policy now goes back to Rome for final approval.
In a surprise to many, Saddam accepts the UN resolution demanding Iraq disarm. Iraqi TV reporting Saddam is ready to receive weapons inspectors, adding that the country hasn't made any weapons of mass destruction since inspectors last left 4 years ago. A letter to UN Secretary General Kofi Annan says Iraq accepts the date set forth in the resolution, but reminds the UN leader some of the deadlines fall during the holy month of Ramadan. President Bush meeting with Secretary General. The Prez telling Annan the war against terror is not a fight against Islam. Annan, in turn, telling President Bush the unanimous Security Council vote sent a powerful message to Iraq that UN resolutions must be respected.
Brian's powerful message: get out the sweaters and the coats.
That's next when the Fast Cast continues.
Jackpot was $40 million.
$40 million.
About 32 quick picks. We won.
I couldn't believe it.
We just started screaming.
People all over are playing and winning the games of Texas. How about you? Somebody's buying a winning ticket right now.
Now the time has come.
Turns out it was a nice day today, and temps are going to be nice tomorrow, but cooling off. Here we go. Your Fox 34 exclusive anchor with a 5-day forecast. There you see 64 for tomorrow. 55 for your Friday, and so it's going to be cool for Friday night football and Texas Tech football on Saturday, but not bad. And then warming up on into the latter portion of the weekend into Monday. I'll see you tomorrow night at 9.
Yeah, we'll be here too.
That's right.
But we're through tonight.
And Seinfeld's coming up right now for all you faithful viewers. Have a great night.
Good night.